Back again with you at the Southeast Motorcycle Rodeo from Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. I'm Dan Oliver, and joining me is PBSO's Jim DeFago, who is with the motor unit, and it was a competitor last year, finished 5th place in his division. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
We're back to the afternoon action here, and we've got more individual competition going through the skills course here. And they are also doing something called the slow ride competition. And how does that work?
That's correct. The slow ride is it's a box. It's about the length of 2 parking spaces, and inside that box, the objective is to stay in there as long as you possibly can. Your time starts when you lift your foot up, and the clock stops on 3 occasions, either when your rear wheel passes the finishing line, when you put your foot down, you drop your bike, or, sorry, there's 4, or if you go outside of the perimeter of the box.
So in this case, the slowest ride counts.
Exactly. This is a race that you want to be the slowest, not the fastest.
Gotcha. But we are also here at the skills course where the fastest does prevail, and hoping to be that fastest person this time is Paul Lear of Broward Sheriff's Office. He is waiting to get started at the starting line. We've had a little bit of a break here, and we're back for the rest of the afternoon with some terrific motorcycle driving skill by these police deputies. So far we've seen about 50, almost 60 competitors thus far. A total of 99 were registered in this event for the day. Okay, so we are off and running here. This is Paul Lear from Broward SO, contestant number 61.
And he looks like he's having a great start. He's really starting the second half off pretty good, nice and smooth. Very good transition. He's finishing up the guitar now. He's going to go into Hannibal's Hell. Very good. Very, very smooth and very quick. Not fast, but quick.
Yeah, looks to be very smooth and in control of his movement. Very balanced. He's accelerating just enough when he needs to.
He's doing a very good job of popping that bike back up from the lean.
Waiting on deck, by the way, is Paul Daegu of Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. So another one of our local lads is getting ready to give it a go. But at this point, looking like a very good time. About a minute and 16 or 17 seconds right now, and he's getting close to the end of the course. And our PBSO deputy has started.
Now Tom's one of our trainers inside of our motor unit. There's 3 trainers that we have. He's one of them. He's been on the motors about 4 years now. He came on a year before I did. And definitely one of the better riders that we have.
And that may have been, I was going to say that may have been a very fast time by Paul Lear. We will have to see. I could not see the exact time that he finished, but it looked like it was in the low 150s. So that may be one of our better times on the day, the first rider of the afternoon. And now trying to catch him here is Thomas Daegu from the PBSO. And how would you say his run's going so far?
So far, so good. There's really nothing that I could pick out that he's doing wrong.
He's definitely accelerating quickly.
And that's something I mentioned earlier that you want to do. You want to get from exercise to exercise as fast as you can. It's not so necessarily how fast you make the turn, because there's only so fast anyone can make the turn. It's getting from one exercise to the other. And in doing so, you have to incorporate, again, all your skills, your braking, and proper throttle. So he's doing fantastic right now, and looks like he's going to finish pretty strong.
And here he goes to the final portion of the course. That tricky left turn there, and another one headed on to the finish where he'll accelerate and stop in the box. And a nice job there by Thomas Dagu of PBSO. Next up on the course will be Jesus Garcia of Coral Gables PD. At least that's who we're expecting. And yeah, we should take a little look at Thomas Dagu and see what you think.
Yeah, we see that he's using all his space that he's got. He's using all the space that they give him, and he's giving himself some room for error, which is good.
And again, there are 3 different events for which our competitors are scored. There was the, and I'll get to it in a second. There was the skills course, which we're seeing now, the fun run, which was held yesterday, and then the individual slow ride, which is 20%. So 3 very different sets of challenges to deal with to win the overall title of Mr. Rodeo. So right now we do have one rider on the skills course, on the untimed section of the skills course. And getting ready to go should be Jesus Garcia of Coral Gables PD on the time course. Great day here at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood for the Southeast Motorcycle Rodeo, raising money for a very good cause, the Cops Charity. And we've talked with a few individuals about that today and the important work that they do. And on the course now is Jesus Garcia from Coral Gables PD, going through the early guitar section of the course.
So you ready to buy the bike yet, Dan?
I'm ready. I am there.
Okay.
Or just join PBSO and then I'll get one.
Okay. I'll teach you how to ride. Jesus looks pretty smooth right now.
Smooth, but I'm not thinking showing it as much urgency as some of our other riders have.
It looks like he's, if we get a close-up on his seat or his seating position, he's really sitting pretty far back on that seat. And that's something you really try not to do is sit that far back, because you can't get that quick snap of the handlebars that you want. And as we're looking at right now, he's sitting way far back on that seat, and he may want to scooch up a little bit.
And it is possible too that he may be one of our 12 novice competitors.
It is.
Which would account for him being a little more cautious as he goes through the course.
But so far, had a clean run, so it's very smooth.
First, get it clean, then work on the speed.
That's the name of the game.
Next competitor on the course is Seth Schaller from Miramar PD. And again, we'll try to confirm that when they come by. But we have not had every contestant that has been on the registration list actually complete the skills challenge. And I would say this is a bit of a deliberate style as well.
I would have to agree with you on that.
Well, I could not tell from the windshield, but we're assuming that's Seth Schaller from Miramar PD. And it makes the performances of some from earlier who just blazed through this course even more impressive when you see what people who've had some experience on here, you know, it's not something that you just take to that quickly, I would think. It's something that really takes some time.
It does. You have to get comfortable with your bike, and you can't just go on any bike. Every bike, even though it's the same model, same style, same everything, I could go on a bike that's not mine, and it's going to feel completely different. So these guys really have to get used to maneuvering that bike on this course. So if one little thing happens, or something as simple as getting a new clutch, or changing the tires, new tires, or air pressure, something could throw it off. Anything as simple as extra gas in your gas tank that gives you extra weight when you're throwing it back and forth, that extra weight sloshing around really could throw off your balance or your game.
All right, and another competitor is just beginning now, Ross Bethard from Boca Raton PD. Number 65 on your scorecard. Oh, now we're hearing it's Christopher, or that might be on the other course. Is number 68.
I believe this is Ross Bethard from Boca PD.
Yep, from Boca Raton, Ross Bethard. Ross is taking it pretty deliberately here as well. Going very slowly through that section. But again, doing it without making mistakes thus far that we've seen, which is important. And next up on the course is Ray De Jesus Jr. from North Miami PD. And we're welcoming another special guest here today at the Southeast Motorcycle Rodeo. It is Bill Hodge. Welcome, Bill.
Hey, thank you. Nice to be here.
Tell me about competing in this. Are you competing this year? And
Yes, competing. I've been competing in this since 1992.
that's a long time.
And here I am again, one more year.
And how's the experience been so far?
I'm sorry?
How's the experience been so far?
Experience has been great. We had a great week of training. We came in here, it's been hot. We set up the exercises, and everybody's been doing really well. All the police officers, a lot of camaraderie. Get a chance to practice together, break bread together, and then come out here on game day and put on the show.
And how many of these skills that we see being tested on the course are skills that you see every day on the job?
Many of them. There's so many. The maneuverability of the motorcycle is really important for us in everyday traffic. These guys come out here, we have to stop, slow down, speed up, use your head and eyes, brake, clutch, and throttle, proper wheel placement, just like it is out on the street. And you got to be aware of your surroundings. If you're not paying attention to the surroundings out here, you're gonna hit a cone. And when you hit a cone, we looked at that as like a pedestrian or an accident.
Right now, you completed your run earlier today, and how did you feel about it?
Actually, I felt really good. Having 2 clean runs is really important. There's different types of level riders, basic, advanced, and intermediate.
Right.
And for us guys who've been doing it for a long time, you watch the advanced riders, and when they ride beyond their means, or if they go a little too fast, they lose their bonus points. So when I ran my 2 runs, I happened to run clean, and I got the bonus points, which can put me in a better place than some of the better riders. So I'm just happy to get through clean, and I'm happy to work with my guys and make sure that they're riding well as well.
Now you must be proud of our young officer here who's injured this year, but last year came in 5th place in his division. Jim did a nice job for you last year.
Jim does a great job. He's a real hard worker. He's one of our star riders. You know, he works really hard at it. And of course, we're both shorter, so our center of gravity is better than anybody else's.
He was mentioning that sometimes we shorter guys have an advantage in something like this.
Yeah, in some cases, because if you're looking at the dynamics of the motorcycle and you're looking at balance points, yeah, being a shorter rider, just like being a bull rider, the physics apply.
Right.
Jim does a real good job, and I'm sorry that he is hurt because he probably could have picked our team scores up this year.
And you've got 9 people. He said that's about half of the squad competing in this?
There you go.
About half?
I'm sorry?
About half of the motorcycle squad competing in this?
Yeah, we have 8 including me, which would be 9. Half of our unit. The other unit's out carrying their load and working the street for us, which will allow us to come down here and train. Some of the riders that aren't here participated last year or participated before. I try to give all our guys the same level of training. Like, we'll do this when we train next month. I'll take these exercises back to them and let them train, because you can never get enough training.
Now, is there any kind of competition as to who gets into the rodeo? Inter-club competition, or is it kind of just how it works out?
We used to do that. We used to limit it to have a ride-off for the best riders, but I didn't want to do that because I think it's very important that the newer rider experiences exactly what's going on today. And because they're a newer rider or don't ride as well as the guy's been here for many years, I think it would be unfair to say, okay, well, we're going to have a ride-off and you'll never get in.
Right.
So what we try to do is share the wealth. We train once a month, and then I know the guys that are either picking up their rider skills. And if I see one of our guys' riding skills are down, then I'll challenge them, and I'll pretty much make them come to this competition. So we want to go prepared every day when we're on the street.
Sure.
The camaraderie you get here, after talking to many other officers from other agencies, you'll learn a lot in just a short period of time. When we leave here today, when they go back on the street on Monday, they're going to be all geared up and ready to go, and a little bit better than they were before.
That's a great point. And also, of course, everybody's here today for the Cops charity.
You know, that's one of the charities very close to my heart. What police officers need to realize is that God forbid, you get killed in line of duty. Someone's got to come in here and take care of you, your family, your kids. And for years, this organization has been doing that. And basically, even though it's cops and muscular dystrophy, the majority of the benefits or proceeds go to cops. And they come in, and I've seen it firsthand, where they come in and provide the counseling services for the kids, make sure the family's taken care of, making sure that, you know, they're not alone. It's well worth it. It's weight in gold. And that's why I try to get a lot of other police officers, even though you're not a motorcycle cop, come on down and support what we're doing, because it's not just for motorcycle kids, it's for everybody's child.
Right.
You know, so.
And you all support each other out on the job anyway as well.
Oh, yeah. We have a great working relationship. That's one thing. And in a NIC group, when you're in a specialized team, a specialized unit, you got to work together. You know, you're going to have different personalities, but the bottom line comes when we have to be together. Well, like my SWAT thing, in as one, out as one. Same thing when we go to work, because it's the highest liability job the sheriff's office has.
Right.
So it's very important that you work together as a team, and with all these other guys, because this year, especially with all the major presidential escorts, you got to know who you're riding with. And a lot of these guys that we're seeing today, we'll be doing the escort with. And you're going to know the strongest riders, the weakest riders. We're going to say, hey, I'm riding with that brother today, and I know what he can do.
Right.
It's important.
So a lot of things being accomplished here today. Also a lot of fun. Bill, I want to thank you for joining us. Did you hear the question? Okay. How vital is the motors unit to PBSO?
The motor unit is a real vital asset to PBSO. We get so many requests that we really can't keep up with it. 4 motor units to do escorts, to be in traffic zones, and most importantly, the school zones, especially when school during the school year. Just the mere presence of a motorcycle officer there, it helps to slow the traffic down. We've been assisting with the VHI unit in traffic homicides. We're out there working major crash intersections where we know that the violations are occurring before the intersection. But if we can get out there and stop that before it happens, it's very important. Hopefully, you know, we had a real large motorcycle unit, and throughout the years we've gone down a little bit. We need to pick it back up and step it back up, because we're more on demand now than ever. And again, one of the highest liability jobs, but highly trained individuals out there doing their job, getting the motors to slow down and reducing the accidents just by mere presence.
Absolutely.
I think it's very important. And you know, the sheriff has been really supportive of us. We've got the best top of the line equipment to do our jobs, and that just makes it easier every day for us to go out and do our job.
Great. Well, again, thanks for the job that you do.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming by.
Pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Take care.
We're back to the action on the course. And we're going to try to figure out who this competitor is. Wondering if it could be Aaron Young from Margate. And I was going to ask, one of the questions I was going to ask, do we have any female competitors in here? And it looks like we may have
here
one here.
we do. This is Aaron Young from Margate PD.
All right. So our first female of the competition.
I believe first and only.
Probably
today,
only.
so.
I was looking through the list, skimming through it just to see. But yeah, it looks like it.
But Erin's a great rider. I had an opportunity to work with her during escorts, multi-agency escorts with her over the last few years, and she's first class. Very good rider.
And next on the course is Jeremy Copas from Sunrise PD. And Jeremy looks like he's trying to keep up a quick pace here.
Jeremy's doing all right. He's it sounds like he's having a little problem controlling that throttle, though. He's a little up and down with that.
And we were in an interview during most of the time, so let's take another look at Aaron Young from Margate. And tell me what you think.
Again, she's a fantastic rider, despite what anyone may say about women in motorcycles. She definitely squashes that stereotype. She's a very good rider, and she was riding before I was, so.
Well, you know, there certainly is a strength difference between men and women, and that the skeptics might say that it's too big, it's too heavy for a female to control, but as in anything else,
well,
they're often proven wrong.
I'll tell you what. All of us have dropped these bikes at one time or another, and guess what? If she could pick it back up and get back on it, she's good in my book.
And she wouldn't be here if she couldn't do that.
And that's right. And looks like we were having somebody have a little hard time at the end of that course there.
Yep, that was Jeremy Kopus from Sunrise. Had a little trouble at the end there. You said you thought he was having a little throttle problem.
Issue. Yeah, it looked like he was having a hard time finding the right spot.
And it looks like that may have caught up to him finally. On the course now is Corey Miles of Sunny Isles Beach Police Department. Nope, that says Broward. That says Broward, so this might be Mike Elwell. He's our next Broward contestant.
And here we're looking at that the end of that run for was it the Jesus?
For Jeremy Kopus.
I'm sorry, Jeremy.
And
right
you can
see right there, he hits a cone and puts his foot down. So
2 no-nos.
Yep, that's it.
Well, as Bill Hodges was telling us, that this is definitely sometimes a learning experience for those officers who are not as experienced. He will challenge them to get ready for an event like this to help improve their skills.
And that's true. That's true. One good thing about Sergeant Hodge, he definitely pushes you to your best. Just when you think you can give any more, he pushes you a little bit harder, and you find out that you had a little bit left inside of you, and he really knows how to bring that out. Again, he's been riding these bikes for years. So.
Yeah, he's had since 1992 has been involved in this.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Richard Jacobson is on the course right now from Delray Beach. And while we're doing this, they are also doing some other competitions. Of course, the other course is the untimed skills course, the same course as this, but the riders are not forced to do it in as quick a time. They just have to do it perfectly. And they're also doing the team slow ride and the Bonfman slow ride, where they inch their bikes forward in a rectangle as slowly as possible. So we may have some video of that for you as we're
correct.
showing this as well.
That's correct, Dan. The objective is to proceed through the course as slow as possible without leaving the course or hitting any obstacles, putting your foot down, or dropping the motorcycle. The slowest time is the winner. Unlike on the time side, where the fastest time wins, the slowest time wins on the slow ride.
And here's a look.
And again, this is going to be counted as 20% of his overall score.
And you can see how just trying to inch forward. Oh, there goes the foot goes down, and that means you're out, right?
Well, that means his time stops at that point. So
Good luck, Louis.
He could stay in there as long as he wants, and he could be in there for 2-3 minutes, and then which you may see. There are some guys out here that are exceptional slow riders and can stay in that tiny little box for about 3 minutes, if not more.
Wow.
And just at the very end, they may put their foot down, but they still may have an excellent time. So you don't want to cancel their whole run out just because at the very end they put their foot down, because it's very difficult, and sometimes you just get a bad run at the end. And here we go.
And there goes the foot down. So you're seeing this is by no means, while it's not the fastest thing on two wheels, it is definitely something that takes some skill.
It's very challenging, Dan. As a matter of fact, this is probably my most difficult category of this.
And now I am
job.
guessing that this is Luis Paez from PBSO, who is number 74, or it could be Al Loudermilk.
That was Corporal Lou Paez. He's another one of our trainers here at Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, and definitely one of the better riders in our agency.
So they had the order just a little turned around here, but this is Luis Paez going through the course, and he does seem to be zipping through there pretty good. And we're back with another special guest. This is Elizabeth Dable, who is also with the COPS charity. And yes. I know you have, as a lot of you do, have a personal story, so could you tell us yours?
My father was killed in the line of duty when I was 3 years old from the West Palm Beach Police Department in 1984. I wasn't a motor cop, but he was killed in line of duty. I became involved with the South Florida chapter of Concerns of Police Survivors about 4 or 5 years ago for the first time. And I didn't really get any support from the police department until about 4 years ago. So the only thing that was around for me to grab onto before that was COPS. And they, you know, I could come and I try to help with the rodeo or any other events or anything like that that they do to help support them. And it's just a great cause for, you know, a horrible event.
So you can understand, and you know, being as young as you were, it was basically like growing up, you know, just growing up your whole life without a dad.
I don't remember anything.
Right. I lost my father when I was young too, and I feel the same way. So, what difference did it make when you started getting into this and seeing what kinds of things this group was able to do?
I have grown so much since becoming involved with COPS. I can sit here and talk to you about it without crying, and I can talk to other survivors, and I can educate people and law enforcement agencies. I've gone in and done lineups and everything to educate them about COPS, and that's something I never would have been able to do without the support that they've given me. As a survivor, they give me retreats and tons of emotional and mental support that has just really helped me heal and accept what has happened. I grew up very bitter and unable to really talk about it. So just being able to talk about it and sit down and be involved as much as I am now is like huge.
So helping other people, helping young people is kind of a cathartic experience, or has been to you over the years?
Yeah. I would love, they have a COPS kids camp. I would love to go and be a mentor one day. I just have to have a whole week that I could take off. But yeah, it's something that is very rewarding to be a part of.
Now, what did you get into profession-wise?
I'm not in law enforcement. My career is pharmaceutical research.
Okay.
I help get drugs on the market.
But you've stayed close to this cause for
very
years
close,
now.
and I'm very close to the department now, thanks to a certain lieutenant who is now captain that was very involved with COPS and knew about it and knew what to do.
And it must be nice to see, because all of the folks we've talked to here today really have really embraced this charity and said how important it is to them.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that it's for their families. There are a lot of police officers that still don't know about this organization, and that's one of my goals, is to get everybody aware.
Well, thank you very much for helping to do that.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you sharing your story and your time with us today.
Thank you. Very nice
Thank
to
you
meet
so
you.
much. Take care. And back to the action on the course. Looks like we just had one competitor finish up. And from Miami-Dade PD, this could be Ben Rivera, number 77. I say could be because we're having to juggle a little bit with the registration list.
I believe it is Dan.
But that is definitely, yeah, Miami-Dade PD.
Yeah, we have Al Laudermilk, also from Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, waiting in the wings.
Yes,
getting
who
ready to
you
go.
said was someone to watch in this, right?
That's it.
Well, I think your boss, who we were just talking to, also is sitting kind of pretty in this. He told us that he thought he had a very good run, and he had 3 clean runs. So
Now that's very good, and the cleanness of the run is the most important part about this competition, and that's very good.
Yep.
That's very good, because he had a quick time on the time side. He looked like he was flying through
yeah,
there. So.
Bill Hodge said that they were going to miss you this year from the team point standpoint, but looks like your guys are pulling through here.
They're doing very well, very well.
All right, Al Laudermilk is on the course.
Now, Al's been on the motor unit for several years. He's rode a motorcycle for several years, but this is his first time at a rodeo competition. He's considered a novice, although he's been on the rodeo. He's been on the motor unit for several years.
Okay.
So Al should be doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, getting a little more aggressive through the course here. And I wish I had been able to get a time of him, but I could not. So we'll just have to see if this is going to be a competitive time.
And you can see him speeding up to the next event, which is exactly what you want to be doing.
And they also have team overall standings in this, so that's kind of important in the competitive aspect as well. And just so you know about that, the overall winner in the team results last year was Broward, Team Z from Broward. And they had 2 teams from Broward, Team Z and Team Q, that finished 1 and 2. And Fort Lauderdale was in third place. Seminole 4th, and Mixed Team 1 in 5th. So this is PBSO's Al Laudermilk finishing up his run. And looking good with a strong finish there.
Not bad.
Now our next rider up and is on the course is Juan Figone from Fort Lauderdale PD. And we're getting some slightly different looks now from the course because we have a couple of different cameras trained and giving us some different angles. And let's take a look back at some of the action from Al Laudermilk and see what you think, Jim.
And you can see he sped up to the event and he slowed down. He actually used his front brakes going into that turn, into that left turn. He uses front brakes, got to the proper speed, and then he dipped the bike down to the left. And that's important. That's where you make up those precious seconds instead of crawling through. And he's got a good lean angle. Again, Al's a bigger guy, so he doesn't have the opportunity to sit as close onto the gas tank as some of our smaller riders do.
So Al Loudermilk. And then on the course is Juan Fagone from Fort Lauderdale, finishing up his run.
Now, I really like the way he's dipping that bike down right now. He's staying straight. He's sitting pretty straight up, and you can see how he throws that bike down to the left and to the right, and he's riding the bike. The bike is not riding him. He's not leaning with the bike. He's leaning the bike. So that's also a good characteristic of a good rider right there.
Our next contestant on the course is Chris Butler from Sarasota Sheriff's Office. And he looks like he is being fairly aggressive as he goes through the course. Looks like this may not be his first rodeo.
No, it's not. I actually had an opportunity working with him also in a couple escorts.
I've been waiting all day to use that line. It's not my first rodeo. It is my first rodeo. Dan Oliver here with you for the Southeast Motorcycle Rodeo at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. And along with me is Jim DeFago. He is a PBSO deputy on the motor unit and the 5th place winner in his division last year. And finishing up is Chris Butler from Sarasota, Florida, having what looks to be a pretty strong run.
Pretty strong, doing very well.
And next we have another deputy from Delray Beach. Looks like Ronald Brown is getting ready to go.
I had an opportunity to speak with Ron before the event started today. He's feeling very comfortable. He's here today with his family, his wife, and I believe they're expecting a baby soon. And I've had the pleasure of working and also training with Ron on a monthly basis, and along with other escorts and joint operations. Very good guy and a very good rider.
Yeah, when they first come out, they seem to be a little careful starting the first little maze.
Yeah, you got to get those butterflies out of your system before you really start getting into it. And a lot of times you'll see these guys, they'll ride very cautiously, and as soon as they scrape that cone, or if they hit a first cone, they'll just fly through the rest of the course, and all the butterflies are gone because they already hit a cone, so they don't have to worry about it.
Right.
So they actually sometimes end up riding better after they hit the cone. But right here, Ron looked like he had a little hard time getting that bike turned around.
A little bit of a pause in that turn. And those types of things right there will cost you. And oh
and
goodness.
There he goes. It's okay. He's all right. I'm sure he is. That's too bad. But I
like
know
you
Ron,
said,
he'll hop on there and he'll finish it up nice and strong. So
everyone who's been on this has done that once or twice, right?
I can't even count. I don't have enough fingers and toes to tell you how many times I've dropped that bike.
So he will get up and finish his run.
Yeah, he's worked pretty hard. It's a shame he just fell. So, like I said, look, there he goes. He's picked the speed up a little bit, and I'm sure he'll finish nice and strong.
Now, I'm sure we'll probably have some replay of that, but we can maybe talk about and see where do you think exactly he went wrong on that, if you didn't see it outright. Kind of to our side. He's getting near the end of the course here.
And that's the last thing you want to do in front of a crowd here. I mean, again, it's all for a good cause, but we're still all competitors out here, and no one wants to fall. And And as I was saying, Ron's an excellent rider, so it doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad rider just because he fell today. Just may, at that one point, which we'll get to see in a moment, maybe he did something wrong. And he could not have fell for the last 3 days, but on this particular run, just didn't work out for him. So.
And finishes, and we'll take a look and see what happened to Ron Brown. Yeah, there was a little hesitation there, but then no, it didn't happen here. It's going to happen just a little bit further ahead.
Let's see. He's got good head and eyes right there, and up. Yep. His it seems like his clutch hand. It seems like he didn't have enough power. It seems like he may have had the clutch pulled in a little too tight, which that does. What that does is that kills the power to the back wheel. Now, if you don't have power to the back wheel, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
And when you're in a lean, a deep lean like he was, because he was in a good lean. If you're in that kind of a lean and you don't have power going to the rear wheel, there's nothing that's going to turn you around. You're not going to have any momentum to get you back out of that turn. So what's going to happen is that bike's going to fall right down to the side. Just what happened. So
gravity overtakes.
that's it.
And on the course right now is Eric Binkovitz from Broward. That was a tough one. Could be Bienkovitz. But he is from Broward Sheriff's Office, our 82nd contestant, and finishes strong. And we have another local from PBSO coming up. His name is Gary Flowers. And I do not see him at the starting line just yet. And we're going to take a look, another angle of that fall. And tell me what you think.
Well, again, I want to focus on his clutch hand, his right hand right there. As he's coming around, I'm sorry, his left hand. It seems like his hand was just squeezing that clutch in a little too tight. He was in good position. I don't see exactly what he did wrong, except for possibly squeezing that clutch in, because he had a nice lean angle on it. So and his head and eyes, and he was.
And that's one of those little things that can happen when, you know, you're in a competition and you're pressing and you.
Absolutely, it's the small things that count. So.
Sure. All right, so how about Mr. Flowers from PBSO, your compadre there?
My compadre. I work with Gary Flowers on a weekly basis, so I get to do other types of police functions with him, such as traffic stops and not only training, but escorts and things of that nature, traffic crashes with him. So I get to work hand in hand with Gary Flowers every day, and he's a good guy.
And he's off. Or is this Paul Rich?
I believe this is Simon Franks from Sarasota. I believe we missed Gary Flowers.
Okay. Yeah, now that it gets closer, it doesn't look like it's the PBSO. So this is Simon Franks from Sarasota. And maybe we'll see Mr. Flowers after that. Seeming to go a little deliberately through the course, but smoothly.
Now, as we can see right there, he's using all the room right there. We saw him riding that cone line. He didn't try to cut it short. Possibly, that's what could have happened with Ron Brown from Del Rey. He may have tried to cut that short now that I look at this deputy.
Right. So this is Simon Franks, rather, from Sarasota. And I think that Gary Flowers will be on deck here. Yeah. And Franks is going to have to hurry. He's over 2 minutes already and has not yet gotten to the final couple of turns. So we'll see how our next PBSO competitor will do.
We're going to have an opportunity to look at both these guys because we also have on the untimed side, we have Paul Rich, another one of our trainers, competing on the untimed side. And
Gotcha.
We'll see him coming up here in a second.
Yeah, this right now is James Ramage from Fort Lauderdale PD.
And he's doing a good job. Very good job. Fort Lauderdale's got a very good selection of riders.
Yeah, and you can see he is moving through the course quickly, cleanly.
I like the way his throttle sounds, nice and steady. Doesn't sound like he's revving that engine. Good head and eyes. Nice lean.
His time right now seems to be very good, too. Only 1:18 through this portion of the course.
And now he's going into the Romans run.
And we do have a second rider now on the course. But let's see. James Ramage finish. Now he has taken a little more time than I thought. He is slower on the second part of this course. And is going to finish at about a 2:08. So he's not going to get him up among the leaders. Now this is from Delray Beach Police, so this must be Justin Reed.
It is, Dan. And Justin's a good rider. Again, he trains with us every month. And being in the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, I have an opportunity to go into the city of Delray and conduct traffic enforcement with Justin. So not only do we get to see each other on these types of events and during escorts, but we actually get to work side by side. Even though we're in different agencies, we get to work side by side. So I'm very fortunate that I get to have a large diversity of law enforcement officers I get to see and work with from different agencies. And it just goes to show you that it's not just you're rooting for your agency, you're rooting for guys that you work with on a daily basis, whether or not they're with your agency.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of camaraderie here, and it's nice to see guys that you work with do well and see their hard work pay off.
And on deck here is Kurt Corbett from the Broward Sheriff's Office.
Now, Kurt, early in this program, I told you that I used to ride motorcycles when I was about 7 years old. That's how I got into it, right? Well, I rode him with Kurt Corbett here, so I had an opportunity of growing up with this guy and a very close friend of mine. And Kurt's a fantastic rider. Growing up with him, we demonstrated skills together, and His father was also a law enforcement officer for Broward County, and retired. But he's doing very well.
Seems to be doing very well so far, moving
Great
very
head and eye.
purposely, very confident. I don't have a stopwatch him though, so we're just going to have to see how his turns out. But so far so good. He's accelerating well.
He's doing a fantastic job. And it looks like we're going to get a chance to see Gary Flowers on deck now.
So I was just going to say.
Batting out of place, but.
Batting out of place, but still in the game. Great look at man and machine in harmony.
Couldn't say it any better.
And a good run there for Kurt Corbett from Broward. And now we're going to see Gary Flowers from PBSO. Now let's see if I can get a stopwatch on him. Of course, I'm using my iPhone to do this. Just about out of juice. So I don't know if this is going to last.
Now let's see how Gary rides, because he's one of those bigger guys.
And he waits till he is ready. And the time, as Jim told us, won't start until he begins. That's true. All right, he is off. Gary Flowers from PBSO, attempting his timed skills run.
Seems like he's having a nice smooth ride right now. And I could tell you, working with Gary, he rides for fun. He rides for fun. He's a competitor, but he's just glad to be out here.
He'd be riding a motorcycle whether he was a motorcycle cop or not, I guess you're saying.
And he does, yeah. He's an avid motorcycle rider, and he's just happy to be here. He's doing a great job. Actually, he's going through pretty quick, so.
Yeah, not bad. He's at about a minute at this point. Might be a couple seconds slower than the best times, but still good. And we have another PBSO team member. Paul Rich is on the course as well. So two on the course at the same time.
And Deputy Rich over here, he has some experience prior with FHP on their motorcycle unit prior to coming to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. So he's been out here for a couple years. So this is not his first rodeo.
All right. Gary Flowers finishing up at about 2:10. That's not going to be. It's not going to be one of the quickest of the day. And currently on the course, Paul Rich.
And if you'll notice, Dan, our trainers are going through pretty smooth. Not necessarily the fastest, but they're definitely applying their skills that they've been taught as instructors to ride smooth and head and eyes, brake, clutch and throttle, and you know, look very clean.
Right.
They're looking very clean.
Winning the speed time is nice, but it's more important to be accurate.
That's right. Anybody could fly through here and hit 20 cones. Your time may not end up being very well, but
Right, and I think too that's what we're talking about here is a large group, 100 very skilled individuals. If you saw just regular Joe Blow off the street, would be running over cones like crazy probably doing this.
Exactly. I mean, we see some guys that are flying through this course, and then we see some guys who are going through the course slow, and we even see people who have dropped their bikes, but by no means would the regular average Joe from off the streets be able to hop on one of these bikes and do what they do. Even me, prior to becoming a law enforcement officer, I was a motorcycle rider, and it took me a lot of time to develop my skills to do what these guys do today.
This on the course now is Harry Braley, another of the Sarasota Sheriff's deputies. Sarasota sent a large contingent. My hometown.
Oh, we got a couple cones right there.
Oh dear. Cones took quite a beating there.
And it seems like I could attribute that one to poor tire placement. He didn't get his wheel placement correct, and it kind of just ruined the rest of his ride in that exercise. If your wheel's not in the right place and you hit one cone, chances are you're going to hit a lot more, and we just saw that happen.
So they'll get the course corrected again. Braley will take his penalty, but finish out his run. And we have another deputy on deck. It's Jeff Newman from Fort Lauderdale PD.
And we're still watching Harry Braley from Sarasota finish up here.
He's taking his time now. He certainly doesn't want to knock over any more cones if he can absolutely avoid it. And going on to the finish. And gets a nice round of applause. All right, on deck is Jeff Newman from Fort Lauderdale. Or it could be Greg Bishop from the Broward Sheriff's Office. Just going by what I heard from the PA announcer. As we know, sometimes there's changes in the order, so we shall see. Definitely a Broward windshield.
Number 90, Jeff Newman.
Nope, he did say Jeff Newman. So I don't know, I'm a little confused. Maybe he said, okay, he may be announcing for the other course right now. And we can take a look at what went wrong for Harry Braley of Sarasota in his last run right here.
And see, before any of that, if we go back, he started making his turn way too short. Keep going back, I'll show you. Right there.
Uh-huh.
He started turning right there when he had about another 2 feet to his right of cone space. So those bikes are not designed to make it turn that tight. Therefore, he hit those two, and he was going to hit more. So, again, proper tire placement is key.
And we've got more problems out here. Greg Bishop, I believe, is the one who took a little spill here on the course and is kind of driving through the rest of it like he's a little angry himself.
I don't blame him. And just like I said earlier, these guys, once they mess up, they like butterflies go out the window. So.
Well, he definitely is racing through the rest of the course. But again, could be an example of rushing it a little bit too much and then getting yourself in an awkward situation.
Number 99, the back break.
Okay, let's take a look at what happened.
Now in our time portion of the course from Broward Sheriff's Office, number 92, Greg LaFleur.
Right there, he put way too much of a lean angle. Way too much lean angle. He was riding only on a little bit of that rear tire, and that's why it kicked out the way it did.
Yeah, and these things happen. On the course right now, I believe it is Greg LaFleur, number 92.
That is? Yes, it is. And Greg looks like he's having a good run right now. He's really handling the bike well. He's sitting straight up on the bike, and again, like I said before with that other rider, he's leaning the bike. He's not.
Yeah.
He's throwing that bike around, which is good. That's exactly what you want to see. He's got a nice lean angle, scraping the floorboards, but not too much to throw off the back of the bike.
He is going very fast and very precise.
And I haven't seen him hit anything yet, so he may be up there with one of the top times.
Very well may be. This Greg LaFleur, I believe, from Broward Sheriff's Office. Greg Bishop was the previous rider from Broward. But as we see him finishing out strong, going through the final turns and a nice stop, so there you have it. Good ride there by Greg LaFleur from Broward. And I believe coming up should be one of our Fort Lauderdale deputies. It's either going to be Jeff Newman or Arthur Jennings.
This is Arthur.
This is Arthur Jennings. Well, I believe you if you say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can, as he's beginning, maybe take a look at some of the highlights from Greg LaFleur.
And like I said, he's throwing that bike around perfect. He knows where the back of that bike is. Those saddlebags are completely clearing the cones, so he has nothing to worry about right now. He knows exactly what his bike's doing, and he knows exactly where his wheel placement is. So he's flying through this course. No problem.
Definitely is. And coming through here, Arthur Jennings from Fort Lauderdale.
He's not doing bad. It looks like he's having a little problem with those handlebars, though.
Yeah, maneuvering 800-pound machines through a tight little course like this.
Now, again, these
Very
fairing
difficult.
bikes are a lot different to ride because you can't quite see your front tire. So you have to really become one with the bike. You have to know exactly where that front tire is going to go, even though you can't quite see it. Whereas the Division 2, the bikes with the windshield, the Harley Davidsons with the windshield, you could actually see that tire going right up to the cone.
Right.
With the fairing, you don't have the opportunity to look down. That's why they make two different divisions, is because it's two completely different riding styles.
So Arthur Jennings finishing up his run for the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. Should be followed on the course by Chris Schaub of Broward Sheriff's Office.
I believe we have about 18 or 19 Broward Sheriff's Office deputies going through this competition
Yeah,
today.
quite a
so
few. Quite a few. And as I said, I believe this is Chris Schaub. Definitely see the Broward sticker on the windshield. And he appears to be very confidently going through this course.
I don't know if our cameras are picking it up, but his throttle, he's got excellent throttle sound right now, and that's key. He's accelerating out of his turns.
Yeah, he really is accelerating very quickly.
Very good.
I have to think this is going to be one of the better times if he's able to pull off a mistake-free run. He is screaming through the course. And next up, while Chris Schaub is finishing, should be Scott Fry from Fort Lauderdale PD. And Chris Schaub finishes up what could be one of the better timed rounds of the day. Just got to make it through the end nice and clean. Looks like he does. Oh, might have had a little trouble there at the finish. I guess they're going to see if anybody picked up a touch of a cone or not. But a very nice job. Now Scott Fry from Fort Lauderdale on the course, coming through the early part. Only two more riders to go after that. Next up is Kevin Taub from Broward. Yeah, we really did have quite a few Broward competitors today. And any thoughts on Scott Fry's run, Jim?
Pretty smooth, pretty smooth. He could pick up his speed a little bit, but He's going slow and steady. Clean run. Haven't seen him hit anything yet. So,
Meanwhile, Kevin Taub from Broward, our last Broward representative, seems to be going pretty quick.
he's doing very well, very well. And we see the difference right now between these two riders. The last rider was a little slower. He was a little faster. And the thing is don't ride outside of your capability. Sure, you can push yourself, but you don't want to drive faster than your skills provide. That's why this is a skills and safety seminar.
And you can, a great illustration of how he is looking forward to his next maneuver as he's completing a turn right there.
That's correct. He's got great head and eyes coming into this exercise.
See, I'm picking this up now, finally. After 98 riders, I think I'm starting to get it. Yeah.
I'm telling you, we got to get you on the bike.
Not with the cameras rolling, unfortunately. Not with the cameras rolling.
And he's still going pretty good.
He really does seem to be having a nice run here.
Nice run, nice and smooth.
Would be hard to believe that Broward was not going to finish in the top of the team standings, or near the top once again, with as many riders as they have, and obviously as many good ones.
That's true, that's true. They do have the numbers, but they also do have very good riders, so. And
finishing up.
And then we should have one more rider.
Very nicely done. Kevin Taub of Broward with a nice run. And last, but not least, Sebastian Ubrig from Fort Lauderdale PD. How'd you like to be that last one? Now, what position did you run in last time?
My first year, I believe I was 117th.
Wow.
And and my last year, I was 83. So I never had the opportunity to be at the head of the pack, which is a little difficult because you have to watch everyone go ahead of you, and you get to see where everyone either messes up or you get to see who you have to beat.
So, Sebastian Ubrig, our 99th and final competitor of the day, going through his paces.
And he's picking up his speed toward the end here now. He started off slow, but he's really picking up his speed now.
And I'm being told that it looks like we have one more competitor. As I said, a few of them were out of order, so my guess is Mr. Jeff Newman might be next, because I don't believe he went earlier. But we shall see.
Up next on the time portion of the course from Fort Lauderdale PD, number 90, Jeff Newman.
Jeff Newman it is. Hello, Newman. Late, but he made it.
Better late than never.
That's right.
And he overshot that. That was Sebastian Ubrig almost overshooting his stop there at the end of his ride. He had a nice fast ride, but looks like he came in a little hot at the end there.
And Jeff Newman, a little different technique on the throttle there. He seems to be going a little steadier and not revving so much.
Not revving. Again, each his own. He that's his comfort zone, and you got to ride inside your comfort zone.
Sure.
So I like playing with my throttle a little bit more.
It's understandable. And it looks like Jeff Newman will be the final rider of the day in the 22nd annual Southeast Police Motorcycle Safety Trials Rodeo.
I'm not sure if we finished up the slow ride over at the other end of the parking lot or not.
It looks like the slow ride is still going on, from what I can see through the grandstands here. But we've had a great day here in Hollywood at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. And certainly want to thank all of you for joining us. And our crew who has worked so hard to provide you some great shots of this action on the day.
It looks like Jeff just caught a cone there at the end, so he's going to get
hate
penalized.
to see that.
Yep, right there.
That is it for this portion of the competition. Jim DeFago, thank you for sitting in with us.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
I'm sorry that you couldn't compete this year, but
that's okay. You'll see me out here next year.
And I hope, even though you're going to be out there, you'll come back and maybe sit in with us for a while.
I will. I'll be sure of that.
Great.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you again.